Good evening, Woodridge Kindergarten parents. Welcome to our first virtual kindergarten information night. We're so excited that you could be here. I am Nicole Hepworth, the one that's been sending you massive emails and communication. And when I met you initially back in the winter, I did not know we would be here at this point in time. I don't think anybody did. So we're just glad that you could join us. And we're excited to start this school year with you. Tonight we have with us our assistant principal, Mr. Trong. He is working the technology behind the scenes. And we also have our entire kindergarten team here with us tonight who will be doing the majority of the presentation, as well as my administrative intern, Dong Mei Tan, who's also going to be monitoring the chat room. So if you have questions that you didn't submit prior to this presentation and you'd like to share them, you can add those to the chat room and we will compile those and follow up with a frequently asked question document so that we can get some answers to you as best as possible. So at this time, I'd like to go over what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to have some important dates that we want to bring to your attention in case you've missed that or you're busy like we are. We'll talk more about the supply pickup process tomorrow and what exactly that's going to look like or what we're handing out. I'll go over some Microsoft Teams piece. That will be the learning management system that your child will use this year and the very first thing you'll use on the first day of school. We'll talk about the daily kindergarten schedule, as well as what that looks like in person versus virtual and how we're going to adapt to meet the state requirements and try to meet the needs of the children. We'll review some kindergarten developmental stages just so you're familiar with what we're studying, and that might help you with helping your child as well. And then also go over more of the virtual learning pieces. So, and then followed by that, I will take some time to put in or respond to the questions that you've submitted prior to this, and then we'll go from there. So again, thank you for joining us. Before we get started, I want to introduce to you our kindergarten team this year. We have Miss Taylor Siyama at the top and Mrs. Vinci Christian in the middle, and then Miss Nguyen in the bottom, as well as Mr. Trong and I, who lead the school. So thank you for being here, and we will get started.
Hi, my name is Vinci Christian, and I am one of the kindergarten teachers teaching the hybrid model this year. We want to start our night together with this graphic. We thought that this graphic is very relatable to everyone this year. For the three of us, we are sad and disappointed that we won't physically be with your beautiful children this year. But we are thankful for technology and being able to be with your children virtually. I think a lot of us can see ourselves in this roller coaster throughout this pandemic. I personally have had my challenges of being a parent to my 3-year-old and my 5-month-old and trying to work all at the same time. And I can only imagine how you're all feeling while juggling being a parent, a teacher, and working all at the same time. We just want to take this moment to let you know that we see you and we feel you, and we are with you on this journey. Next slide.
Alrighty, hi everyone. My name is Cynthia Nguyen and I am the virtual kindergarten teacher this year. Here are some important dates that are coming up. We have our supply curbside pickup tomorrow morning, and I will talk more about that in just a second. If you haven't had the chance to attend a tech training, there will be one tomorrow night from 6:30 to 7:30. Our family connection meetings will be on September 3rd and 4th, and Vinci will talk more about that later. We do not have school on Labor Day, so don't show up. And our first day together will be September 9th. Next slide, please. Awesome. So our supply curbside pickup will be tomorrow morning. We will have different times for pickup depending on who your teacher is. So if you're in Mrs. Christian's class, it will be from 9 to 9:15. If you're in my class, Ms. Nguyen's class, it will be from 9:15 to 9:45. And if you're in Ms. Suyama's class, it is from 9:45 to 10. Next slide, please. All right, so here's a picture of Woodridge Elementary. When you come to the school for a supply pickup, it will be in the main parking lot, and you should see Vincy, Taylor, and I standing outside. We will be wearing a mask for safety, and we do ask that you wear one too, just to be extra safe. So the arrows in this picture show you which direction to move. And so to keep traffic at a minimum, we ask that you keep moving forward and don't leave any big gaps. And when you arrive, please stay in your cars. And when it's your turn, roll down your window, tell us who your teacher is and the name of your student, and we will hand you your supplies. Please do not open the supply kits. I know it's really exciting and hard to wait, but we will open them together when we meet during our Family Connections meeting. And these supplies we're giving you will get you through the first week or the first couple of weeks of school. And for future supplies, we will keep you posted.
And as I mentioned, we are going to be using Microsoft Teams as our learning management system. So when your child opens up their iPad, they will go to Teams, and that is where you as the parent will see, and the student will see the calendar to join their live class meeting right at 9 o'clock. And it's also a place where you will see different assignments posted, and all sorts of things. So that technology training that Ms. Wen mentioned that's happened last night, if you didn't get to join it, it's happening again tomorrow night. That is a great place for you to learn more about how the management system will work. And we'll also be sending out information to families as a support system in how to walk alongside your child, but also try to help them increase their independence in learning how to use these tools. These kids are sponges, and I know that they'll be successful, but it will take a little bit of hand holding just to get them started. So just be aware that we are using Microsoft Teams, and that icon is an important one for you to look for on their iPad.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Taylor Suyama, and I am the other kindergarten hybrid teacher. For this portion of the night, I am going to talk to you about what a typical kindergarten day would look like in the classroom and compare it to what we're doing virtually. So if you look here, this is what our day would normally look like pre-COVID. You'll notice that in our schedule, we incorporate a lot of body movement, play, and hands-on learning. We have a lot of whole group, small group, independent work, and there's very limited screen time. So this is done purposefully because that is where our 5-year-olds are at developmentally. Go on to the next slide. Thank you. So kind of going off of that, this is a graphic of the anatomy of a kindergartner, and this will be available to you by email, and I encourage you all to go back and read it later on. It's a really good visual on where your child is at right now as a kindergartner. The part that we really want to focus on is the red circle that we have there, and that's just talking about the importance of body movement for our 5-year-olds, which explains why we had a lot of that in our pre-COVID schedule. Virtual learning makes this developmental part kind of challenging, so we are going to try our best to embed body movement as much as we can during virtual learning. And during our Families Connections meeting, we will show you how to position your child's iPad so that when we do engage in brain breaks and body movement, we will be able to see everybody. All right, so developmentally, We know that body movement is very important for kids at this age. The other important component is the appropriate amount of screen time for a kindergartner. So according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, the recommended screen time is 1 hour a day. So I'm sure you can see the predicament that we're in right now for virtual learning. But we do know that virtual learning is really the safest option as of right now. So with that in mind, we are going to try our best to embed hands-on learning during our asynchronous and synchronous learning time. So during our synchronous time, which is when we're all together as a whole class live on Microsoft Teams, we will make sure that we have a buildup of stamina and of being on the screen. So our kindergartners will learn how to adjust to the whole group virtually versus physically. So just like how in in-person classroom, we would practice how to raise our hand or sit at the carpet. That usually takes us weeks and we review it over the whole year. So in the same way, virtual learning and how to come up to school, how to follow expectations and routines, it's going to take a while just because virtual learning is new and we have to learn those routines. So that we're envisioning our first few weeks are going to be focused on learning those routines. And, oh wait, can we go back really quickly? Thank you. So in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we are going to be live 3 hours. But just like I said, body movement and limited screen time is important at this stage of their life. So we're going to be live for 3 hours. So I'm going to be online, available for your child. But you'll be noticing, especially in the first few weeks, your child might be doing a dance, a brain break, or they might be doing independent work, or they might be doing independent play. I will still be there, but we just want to make sure we break up that time and respond to where they're at right now for their age. And then, so that's the morning. And in the afternoon, the first few weeks, we're going to do one-on-ones with your children. If you don't get a one-on-one meeting with me, then we have some asynchronous or independent work for your child to do as we get through our whole class. And then later on in the year, we will do small groups during that afternoon time. So we are on this learning journey together, and we will be doing weekly communication through Microsoft Teams.
All right, it's back to me again. As Taylor mentioned, we have a lot of things to consider as the three of us plan for virtual learning for kindergartners this year. So what's on your screen right now, you will notice that on the left is a sample schedule that you've probably seen already for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, where 9 to 12 p.m. will be our live meeting. And then 12 to 1 p.m. Is a lunchtime. And then 1 to 3:30 p.m. Will be the asynchronous time. Now, Wednesday will be a little bit different. We will do 9 to noon small group or asynchronous time, and that will be that day for Wednesday. And specialists will be included for about 20 minutes. But the time and days of the week will to be determined. Now, because our first day of school does fall on the Wednesday, on the 9th, so we are going to be live on Wednesday, but just this first Wednesday, because it's our first day of school and we want to make sure we meet all our kids on the first day of school. So we will be live from 9 to 10 a.m. the first day of school on Wednesday the 9th. And then from 10 to noon will be one-on-one meetings for the rest of the time for the first Wednesday. Now, a little bit more information about how the asynchronous time work. So for the first 2 weeks, doing the asynchronous time, so that will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday in the afternoon, and then Wednesday it'd be sometime between 9 and noon. For the first couple of weeks, we'll be doing one-on-one meetings with each child. We want to take this time to spend some time with your child, get to know them, they get to know us, building a relationship together. And we will be scheduling these meetings through Microsoft Teams. So keep a lookout on the Teams calendar to see if your child has a meeting coming up with the one-on-one time. Now, if your child does not have a one-on-one meeting that day with your teacher, he or she will be working on assigned independent work, and more information will be coming to you soon. And as of right now, the first few weeks, things are going to change day to day. So we will keep you, don't worry, we'll communicate with you. And I know a lot of families might have questions about the snack. And I would say for now, have a snack ready at a designated area so that as we get to know your kids better, we're going to kind of gauge where your kids are at, and we will figure out a more consistent schedule later on in the year. So yeah.
Alrighty. So now that we have a sense of what our schedule will look like on the first day, here are some tips to help your child be successful and ready for the school year. So dedicate a space for learning, because we want your child to feel like they're actually going to school, and it makes school feel like it's an important space for learning. And like Vinci said earlier, we recommend having a specific space for snack, and that's easily accessible. And as the year goes on, we'll figure out a time that works for your child to have a scheduled snack time. Since using this technology might be new for your child, we recommend creating a plan for your child to ask for help from a caregiver and determine who is going to be the adult on standby. This is going to take a lot of practice to remind your child that, to help them stay calm, and if you don't come right away, it's going to be okay, that you'll be there. So having a plan will really help them to learn that. Also, please try to go to the bathroom before joining class, and we recommend for you to have a regular morning routine, just like you would if we were going to school in person. So yeah, these are some tips we recommend, and hopefully they'll be helpful for you.
All right, so we are very excited that we get to see you at the Family Connection meetings soon. That's coming up on the 3rd or the 4th. By now, you should have already received an email to sign up for a Family Connection meeting with your teacher. If you haven't received the link, please make sure you contact your teacher. So doing our Family Connection time together, we're going to first learn more about your child and answer any questions that you might have about the first week of school. And we are going to finish up with a virtual meet and greet with your child and open the supply kit together. And for this Family Connection meeting, please use your child's iPad to log on to Microsoft Teams. This will be a really good practice to make sure that we don't run into any problems and we have time to solve any problems that we might find before the first day of school. Let's see. Oh, and also this will be also a good time too, so we can kind of help set your iPad in a place that I can see your child can see me, and we have room for movement. So for the supply pickup tomorrow, if you're unable to come pick up the supplies, don't worry. There will be a bin in front of the school for you to pick up later on. And the bin will have the teacher's name, and the bag of supplies will have your child's name on it too. Again, remember, don't open the supplies yet until your family connection meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the expectations for going live. So just like Cynthia said, we are going to need your help in these first few weeks. We want our kids to feel excited to be online to go to school. We want them to feel safe and successful right off the bat. So we would love if you could just be on standby if they need help or if they have technical difficulties. That would really be just a great way to start the year off. And like Cynthia said, just establishing who is going to be the adult on standby to help if they have technical difficulties, and also establishing a way to ask for help. Is there going to be maybe a bell that they ring if something's going wrong with their iPad, or maybe a hand signal? Figuring that out beforehand will really help your child feel safe and ready to go to school. As far as expectations for the students when they are on live, as of right now, we don't know how long virtual learning is going to be, but as we mentioned earlier, we are going to go really slow when teaching expectations and routines over Microsoft Teams. So this is going to look like teaching one Microsoft feature a day and going really slow in that way. So maybe one day we teach how to raise their hand in Microsoft Teams, review it the next day, and then introduce how to unmute and mute, review it the next day. So we're just going to go really slow in teaching those expectations, especially since in the morning we are going to be whole class. It's going to take a while and it's going to be a process when learning how to participate, be patient, and listen to their classmates so that they can learn. It's going to be different than from in the classroom, but we are going to work together and yeah, be excited about the start of school.
Wow, so that was a lot of information thrown at you. Don't worry, this slideshow will be emailed to you later, so you can go back to look at it if needed. Just to wrap up, this is the first time ever that we've done virtual learning. And this is a brand new journey, not just for the three of us, but for all the teachers. And Taylor, Cynthia, and I have been working really hard preparing and getting ready for a great school year for your children. And as Taylor mentioned earlier, it takes a while to learn and practice new routines and expectations and in the classroom, right? So in a virtual learning setting, it's going to take longer. So we know that we are going to need to slow down and be patient. And just like the kids, this is a brand new experience for Taylor, Cynthia, and I. And we are committed to be always learning, reflecting, and collaborating every day. So we just want to thank you in advance for your patience and your understanding as we embark on this new teaching journey together. Communication is the key to our kids' learning. Can you go back one slide? So communication is the key to our kids' learning success. And we understand that you probably have lots of questions, and we will try our best to answer them. We'll try to answer them. Because virtual learning is brand new, we may not have all the answers right away, but we will work with you together and figure it out. In the beginning of the year, we typically do receive lots of questions, and I can imagine that virtual learning will generate even more. We're going to try our best to respond within 24 to 48 hours. But sometimes we may not get to your email within that time range. But don't worry, we did not forget you. Please send us a reminder email. And we're all in this together. And we want to show you this little picture. This is fresh off the press. This is the three of us this morning. Well, not morning, this afternoon. Oh, I'm getting all my time like all mixed up together. We got all our the supply kits ready to go, and we're really excited to open these supply kits with your child during our family connection meeting. So, yay!
Well, thank you so much, kindergarten team. And I know when I hear school supplies, I might be one similar to parents who think, I think we've got pencils or pens or crayons, but our teachers actually have something extra special planned. So as you can see, they've spent some time trying to make this as special as possible for your child. So we are excited to greet them. Okay, following up on some questions that were sent and some that I've seen recently in the chat. We do have time to answer some of those. So one of the questions that was submitted prior to this evening event was the question about advanced learning. And we will be using 2 technology platforms in reading and math that are adaptive. So first of all, just know that we do differentiate instruction, which is why you'll hear about one-on-one or small group learning. And in addition to that, we do have an advanced learning program in the Bellevue School District. And how that works in kindergarten and first grade is the law is still requiring us to screen children for their learning, even though we're in virtual. And until that law changes, what we're planning on doing is what we've typically done, and that is looking at every single kindergarten and first grade student. And we do that through collecting the data that we receive, or watching how they work in groups, and the work that they're turning in. And there will be a screening process as well based on assessments that they will complete. And once all of that is compiled, usually late fall, early winter, the advanced learning department starts to figure out who we need to screen further based on outliers, if you will. So that is how that process works at kindergarten. So that will be coming, but just know that we'll be keeping a close eye at where every child is starting, and our goal is to meet them where they are and help them grow to be the best that they can be in the time we have with them. Another question that came up is, should the parent on standby be available during the one-on-one meetings? I'm going to suggest that that wouldn't be a bad idea at the beginning, just to support them logging on and being present. I would imagine that eventually we will phase that out, but I don't know. We'll follow up with that one in an FAQ document just so we can get our kindergarten team's input on that as they work towards those goals. Another one is confirming the family meeting times in the next few days. Looks like they were posted in Eastern time. So just know that we are planning Pacific Standard Time. So that is something that we'll also look into in the event that's coming up or was sent out differently than we had intended. And as far as communication goes, these kindergarten teachers are seriously the ones that help launch the school year and launch you into a K-12 system. So any questions that you have, they're your best bet to go to first, because a lot of times they've answered the questions from years prior and they know how to answer them this year. If they don't, they then know who to go to get answers. So we all work really closely together. And so when in doubt, you can always ask your classroom teacher. Our office manager is also one, Mrs. England. I put her email in the chat. She's also a great resource for guiding you on who to go to or connecting you with people. Something else, I've updated our school website last night so that now you'll see all the teachers' contact information and websites correctly. So if you go under our school website and about, you'll see Woodridge staff there and some different contact information there. And finally, I would like to point out that also in the chat, I did find the link to the recorded tech training that occurred last night and that will be happening again tomorrow. So if you'd rather watch that on your own time, there is a link to the recording on YouTube, and there's also a linked PDF of the presentation should you wish for that too. So we've got lots of people behind the scenes working to help. And so just know that we are here to support you. We welcome our Anatai families that are joining our kindergarten virtual. I work very closely with Amy McDonald and Ali Samedi at Anatai, so just know that no matter what school you're at in Bellevue, as principals, we all work closely together, and as kindergarten teachers, they too work closely together. So you're in good hands, and we just look forward to partnering with you this year, and thank you for coming and spending this time tonight. And hopefully those kids are tucked in, getting some good rest, and we just thank you for taking time at the long end of your long day to be with us, and we just hope you have a great night, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow and start to form those partnerships during the Family Connections meeting. So thank you again for being here, and we'll sign off and wish you a good night, but please be in touch should anything come up. Thank you.